Islamic Dad here. If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe. I have bronchitis, but like an idiot, I still wanted to make a video. Yesterday, I received a phone call that I was not really expecting. If you've followed my channel for any length of time, you may know the story of my ex-girlfriend, the covert narcissist. On New Year's Eve, just over a year ago, she assaulted me, and I had to call the police. It was a very long, drawn-out experience to push it through the court system, but in the end, she pled guilty because she was looking at the chance of spending 2 years in state prison if it went to trial. So, that said, she did take the plea deal, or pled guilty, I should say. And as part of that, she was, given a order of restitution to pay me back for the private property that was damaged. She had, multiple marks on her record at that point relating to the assault. And she was given court-ordered evaluation and court-ordered therapy, probation for the duration of this, and also a protection order in place for the duration of this. The call I received yesterday was from her parole officer informing me that her lawyer had filed a filing with the court to try to get the restraining order and the probation, etc., ended early. And I think, early termination or something like that. So I spoke with the probation officer about that. And on one hand, it was incredibly frustrating because, as I've said in previous videos, the communication for the most part for the past, say, 6 months has been one direction. It has been me communicating to the courts and her therapist, and I'm receiving nothing back from them. So it's been, from my perspective, pretty pointless. So I asked for updates with regard to her diagnosis to see, was she diagnosed as a narcissist? Was she diagnosed as borderline? Etc. And I just got nothing. It said, it's not something that can be communicated to you, which again is incredibly frustrating because I'm the victim in this. So if anyone should be told what the hell's going on, it should be the victim. The good part of this was that I was asked if I wanted to contest the early termination of probation. So that option is upon me, and also that I can contact the judge before the hearing and lay out stipulations if I want. So I think I've said this before. It's kind of a trick question, but I asked the judge for basically compelling my ex-girlfriend, the covert narcissist, to write a letter of apology, and not just a one line, but one where she takes responsibility for her actions, responsibility for the consequences of her actions, restates the knowledge that given my medical conditions, it could have killed me. That's not, an exaggeration. And also that she feels genuine remorse at what she did. Now, as you know, a narcissist would rather throw themselves in front of a bus than ever take ownership and responsibility for what they did and apologize. In their mind, they're literally perfect. And that if anything bad happens in their life, it's always the other person's fault. And so I know that, for a fact that my, through some mental gymnastics, my ex-girlfriend blames me for her assaulting me, and that it's actually my fault, and that if anything, she should be the one getting sympathy and support. And again, that's par for the course with narcissists and the way that their brains work or don't work, so to speak. So that said, I did ask the judge to consider that. I already know that, again, I don't see it going anywhere. The purpose of me making that request wasn't necessarily that I thought I would get it, but that I want everyone involved to see her for who she really is. And so I want to make sure that the judge sees that even after like almost a year of probation and therapy and evaluation and random alcohol test and random drug test and spending time in jail, that even after all that, she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. She doesn't feel like anything that happened to her is justified and that I'm the bad guy. But, again, I want to make clear that when the judge has that and like asks her or, through her attorney, that the judge sees how they react. Now, I'm going to go a bit of a tangent here. It's interesting to me that she has her, I assume $400 an hour attorney, because he's giving her, bad advice from day one. It was because of him that I fixed the warrant. It was because of him that I got the warrant enforced. And ultimately, when it was, that close to going to trial, he said, look, you need to plead guilty or you're looking at 2 years in the state slammer. And it's like, okay. And so it's like, okay, wait a minute. This is the guy that you keep throwing thousands of dollars to, who's like basically dug this hole that you're in. And so, but where I'm going with this is that he's obviously dealt with other narcissists and people like my ex, because he feeds their victimhood. And so the whole time that my ex is talking about how she's the victim and it's my fault that she assaulted me, he's helping. He's like, yeah, it's because you have ADHD. That's why. It's not your fault. It's because you have ADHD. Oh, you're on the autistic spectrum. That's why. It's not your fault. It's because you're on the autistic spectrum. Oh, you guys were like talking, loudly. Well, that's who doesn't assault people when they're talking loudly. I mean, he just kept, supporting this bizarre narrative through every hearing. And so, and at first I was like, I don't get that. He knows that this case is, open and shut. I mean, it's, watertight. But the thing is, he has figured out that he can keep, basically supporting and feeding into this narrative, and the narcissist is going to eat it up. It's almost like supply. And here's the kicker. It is a form of supply that the narcissist is willing to pay $400 an hour to hear. That having someone on their side who will say, oh no, you're the victim, it's not your fault, this is so awful that this happened to you. You don't deserve this. I can't believe that your boyfriend hit your fist with his face that hard. What a horrible thing for him to do. And the narcissist, because that's what they live on, is just like, sure, I'll shovel money, even though the case is actually just getting, worse and worse for her as time goes on. So, but, coming back, that's the other thing, is that I also want the judge to see how the lawyer responds to my request, because I bet the house that the lawyer is going to object, either formally or informally, and say, no, my client doesn't need to apologize. They did not do anything wrong. Literally, after spending all this time on probation and court-mandated therapy and drug tests, et cetera, et cetera. And so judges are a weird lot, but they really like, making kind of snap decisions and discernment as to which way a conversation or a logical argument should go. And that said, I think that the judge most likely is going to hear this from her lawyer and swing back the other way and say, no, that's insane. You need to, and then be more on the side of pressuring the ex to write this apology letter, just to prove a point kind of to both of them. And again, the lawyer doesn't care. Her attorney just wants the $400. He doesn't care if she writes the letter or not, but he wants to make sure that his client feels like he's in her corner. And that's it. Not that they're productive, not that they're efficient, not that they accomplish anything. Nope, just that she feels like the attorney's in her corner, and as long as that's true, she will just keep shoveling out the $400 an hour. So, but yeah, it's been jarring, honestly, because I had put so much of this in the past and finally felt like I was really making some good headway into 2024 of just putting all that behind me, just like not even having to think about it, because it's just some crazy lady that I made the mistake of being in a relationship with. But then, this reared up. That said, I will ask to be given updates from the probation officer as to what is going on. I will not be attending the hearing because I've had bad experiences during this whole experience during this whole fiasco, where the lawyer will try to put me on trial and the lawyer will attack me in front of the judge. And again, it's not because the lawyer thinks anything's going to change or happen. He just wants his client to feel like, oh yay, my attorney's attacking my ex-boyfriend. Yay, here's another $400. So I'm not going to play that game. I don't get anything out of it, and it's just making myself a target at that point. So, long-winded, but I did want to make this video tonight because, like I said, it's insane that it's been, I think, between 7 and 9 months since she pled guilty in court. And it's been over 13 months since the assault. And so I was very much hoping that all this was in the past, but it's popped up again. So depending on the outcome, I'll, might make a short video. And, who knows? The universe is full of surprises. And as much as I don't think it'll happen, there's maybe 1 in a million chance that the judge will make the early termination contingent upon the apology letter. And and if she writes one, I will read it on my channel, and I'm sure that it's going to have a lot of double meanings and false apologies and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun and probably, worth a lot of laughs. But yeah, if I get that, I'll definitely read it on the channel. Thanks.